Hey, stars, it's me, Shorter Star, and I'm back. Listen, yes, that's my new introduction. I'm working on it, people. I told you I want to work and make this page better and better. Um, and I'm growing. If you look at my subscriptions, I'm growing. If you look at my views, I'm definitely growing. So I'm happy. I still need you guys to like, comment, share, subscribe, definitely. Um, But you know what? Listen, first off, I'm very, very happy where I am with this channel. I couldn't be happier. I'm at the moment now working on my home office where I will be recording from. Um, so I'm doing that, and things are looking good, and things are happening really rapidly. So, nevertheless, I'm drinking my lemon ginger tea. I don't know where you guys are, but here in New York and New Jersey, it's been raining nonstop, like real talk. It's been raining for over a week. I'm waiting to see Nova's Ark coming through the block because seriously, it's been raining, raining, raining. Stop raining. Sun come out, then raining. It's just crazy. Um, Actually, on yesterday, one of my friends took me out because, like I said, my channel is growing, and I have over 1,000 subscribers now. And I remember honestly when I couldn't get 100. And Lord, I stayed at the 200 mark forever. But again, I've been doing this channel now for 9 months, and I have like 65 videos out, and I have over. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and then I want to start going live with you guys. But I have to have enough people that's going to join my live that, we can have that banter back and forth. And I want to answer your questions live. I want to, be funny live. But now that I'm over the 1,000 subscribers threshold, this is what you're going to get. But anyway, listen, like I said, I'm drinking some lemon ginger tea, right? Again, thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things, right? And the channel can constantly continue to grow. I love you guys. So, did y'all guys know that Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid, her sister had their group originally, but now, sorry. So it's saying that Halle, who was I remember she was dating, and now what is it, DDG? I believe so. And they have a child. They dated for 2 years, from 2020 to 2022 or something like that. But nevertheless, they have a kid now. And apparently, Haley accused ex-boyfriend DDG of physical and verbal abuse, and she gets a temporarily restraining order against him. So now he can't go 100 yards close to her or the child. And while she got the restraining order, she had to, you just can't get a restraining order. You know what I mean? Um, and I hear good things, I hear bad things about DDG. Now, the thing is, I don't really follow him. I'm a lot older than he is. But he seemed like a decent guy. And I remember following him before he even got with Haley. Well, not following him, but looking at some of his videos and stuff. And listen, he making a bag on the internet, social media. He's making a bag. So when I found out that they were together, I was actually happy that they were together, to be honest with you. I didn't want her. I didn't want her to be with someone that was just going to take advantage of her and go through her money and stuff like that. It was good for me to see that she was with someone that had even more money than she did. So I'll be honest with that. Um, but I didn't know anything about none of us knew about the physical and verbal abuse. But I've heard bad things about him, like made mad comments. Now he has such a huge following. Whoever goes up against DDG, they come down on him. Like, oh, I'm gonna leave Beyonce out of it but it's like that. You have such a large following. When you have a problem with them, you got a problem with a lot of people, right? So she said that he uses his followers and as weapons against her and other people that if he's not getting along, he kind of sick them on you. You know what I mean? And So yeah, so she had a restraining order, and from what I understand, they also gave her permission to go to London. I believe she's going to be in London for a month or so filming a movie. So she's going to take her son with her. Um, yeah. So who knew? The Little Mermaid. Okay. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about him. I watched him actually on an interview. Well, I watched it yesterday, but I don't know when he did it. But on he was interviewing with Hot 97 with with Charlemagne and DJ Envy. And and he looked a little rough and ragged, and I don't know. But again, you got to understand, these are young kids. Most of us are of a certain age, but can you imagine? Could you imagine having that type of money and that type of notoriety at 20, 21, 22, 23, 25? Can you imagine? Unlimited funds, no one's telling you no. You know, I mean, most of us will never understand that, and I think it's different, and I think it does change you. Those of us that have a little coin together can get changed. But I was always told the a hole you are without money is going to be the a hole you are with money. You're just going to be an a hole if that's who you are. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but we're going to follow that and see what's going on with that. And now I know that most of you guys already know about Tory Lanez, and that's fine. Well, Tory Lanez is now serving, he's in a California prison serving 10 years for the Megan Thee Stallion issue and problem that they had of allegedly shooting her in her foot, right? Pow pow. So it's a, excuse me, rapper Tory Lanez stabbed 14 times in California prison attack. And I don't know what to think of that. I do know that if you, well, I've never been to jail, but what I will say is I would assume and I've heard that if you go to jail and you happen to be a millionaire, have a lot of money on the outside, you become a target. You think because you have the money is going to save you, but it actually makes you a target because money on the outside means money on the inside. You know what I mean? And it's a great connect to have. You can do things and help him and maneuver his way through things, yet get your family taken care of on the outside. You know what I mean? Or you can straight up be held up like ransom, and while you're there, you're under their control, so they need a certain amount of money to protect you, and the things. I don't know. I just think it's a bad situation. They stated that both of his lungs collapsed. They said rapper Tory Lanez has been rushed to the hospital after he was stabbed 14 times in a California prison, right? The Canadian hip hop artist was attacked by another inmate on Monday morning in a housing unit at the California Correctional Institute, about 75 miles north of Los Angeles. The 32-year-old rapper suffered wounds across his body, causing both of his lungs to collapse, according to the post on his Instagram account. Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, is serving 10 years prison sentence for shooting fellow musician Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. Okay, so again, he's already in. I mean, we don't want to see harm come to anybody, and I actually enjoy Tory's music. Real talk. I got on it a little late, but I mean, I enjoy it. I really, really do, and continue to pray for him. And from what I understand, allegedly he was stabbed 14 times. He was stabbed in the head, cut in the face, in the back, in the chest. He's been stabbed numerous places on his body. So we're going to continue to pray for him. Only God can judge. And yeah, we're gonna move on from there. Now, I'm not gonna I know that you guys are like, okay, why are we not talking about Diddy, right? And I told you guys before about how seriously, when everyone's reporting about something, and you even have YouTubers in the courtroom now, and they're reporting for real. So it's a real thing. And we're hearing it everywhere. I know you might want to hear one other person's idea on it and another person's idea on it, and that's great. I think we need to get into it a little more right now. It's just was opening statements. This is what the third day. We know that Cassie was on the stand yesterday, and I don't know if she's returning again today. And she's like really out there as far as pregnant. She's really big. And somebody had said, I heard someone say yesterday, they were surprised that she even testified this early in the case. And I said, well, they had to get her when they could because I don't know how far going she is, but she's really big, which means she lives in California, from what I understand. So when she goes back to California, she's going to be unable to travel back to New York to testify. So I say all that to say they got her when they could get her. Okay. But however, that's never going to take away the stand. And it might even, because now you're seeing her pregnant and in a more of a vulnerable position, even more. And they stated that she was crying on the stand allegedly. She asked for 2 breaks. Yeah, so I wanted to get back to a story that I had heard about it like 2 days ago. And now that I've heard about it, when I started to hear it, people kind of changed it a little bit. And I want to go back to what the original thing is, because this is what I'm going to say. Now, read it. I'm going to just, you know what it is. You guys can read. I want you guys to read the headline. This is from TMZ, giving them credit. Diddy may escort such and such in Cassie's mouth, right? This is what they're saying. I'm not going to leave this up there because that's another thing about this case. It's built so much, right, around sex and the perversions and look, to each his own. And like you said, it's not illegal to have sex. It's not what they're saying is illegal is to be transporting people to have sex and paying people and just all of those types of things. Okay, so we understand that, but a lot of this stuff on the trial, you're not going to really be able to discuss because it's so vulgar and it's so there. You know what I mean? And YouTube don't play. They don't want. Listen, you hear us say pow pow. Some of us make a mistake and say the word, but we mean pow pow. We can't say taking a dirt nap. We got to say unalived. It's like certain things, So this case is a challenging one to even talk about what people have said because there's so much you can't say. Yeah. So, like I said, when I first hearing it, I heard just what you just read. Okay. Now, when I hear everyone else talking about this, saying, "Oh, he had an escort urinate on her." Okay, that's a golden shower. I'm not saying it is what it is, but we're not. Come on, that's not so. Oh my God, did he? But for the original part of what they originally said. Now they're saying on her, but in this one from TMZ and what I was hearing was it, so I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Golden shower. I mean, listen, I don't have anything to say about it one way or another, but that's nothing new. But that other part of it, girl. So I think I think today they were gonna try to actually because she's of course speaking for one group, and of course they're gonna have to cross-examine her, and we're gonna see how that goes. I know that her husband is in the courtroom, and I heard her mother and her brother was there yesterday. It's just crazy. So again, I haven't talked about it. This is what I'm giving you. When I can talk about it, I will. But like I said, you're hearing everything. Don't you want something different, a little different? Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, like most of us, when we could afford to go on vacation, because I've known people, right? I remember my sister taking my niece to on a Disney cruise or a trip, one of them, but she took some friends with her, as and it was very, very expensive. Boom. So I have another friend, she wants to take her grandkids. She was taking her grandkids on a Disney cruise. And when she was telling me the prices, I was like, okay, that's a lot. But I've been hearing Disney has been crazy forever. Well, there's a dad who live there. Now, first off, they live in Florida, so I want you to get to understand it. And when you live in Florida and go to something like Disney World that's in Florida, you get a discount just being a resident. I don't know if it's 5% or 10%, whatever, but this is with the percentage that you get, right? So with everything going on, you know that it's hard out there. Okay. It's hard out there for everybody, seriously. And all these luxury trips that we used to take, which now seems like luxury, even if it wasn't crazy, crazy luxury at this point where we're trying to save and we're not knowing where things are going. You know what I mean? We are saving or spending, whatever. Nevertheless, this is a man of a dad, husband, wife, 3 children. Okay. Florida dad who paid $1,400 for family of 5 day trip at Disney World says he felt punished by park. Now, this dad, mom, and 3 kids went to Disney for 1 day. 1 day. Okay. And the dad said he felt disrespected by the prices. Now, this is what we're saying. The dad name is Craig Sowell. He went viral after revealing his family's 1-day Disney World trip cost him $1,400, sparking debate over rising prices and values for family. Is it worth it? And I want to ask you, is it worth it? We're talking about $1,400 in 1 day that you'll never see again. So what I did was I did a list, right, of what he said he spent his money on. And I'm going to tell you this list, okay? He said, first off, and it's just some of the list, but this is how it got outrageous. And after 1 day, spending $1,400. Imagine if you're there for a week and the kids want to go back to the park more than once. Who really can afford that when it's nothing coming out of it? You're not going to, once it's over, it's over. Okay. Well, they said, first, they get you, when you get there, $30 to park your car. Okay, that's not crazy because if you go to Great Adventure here in New Jersey, it can cost you that or more. So, I mean, that's not too crazy, but $30 to park your car, right? For 5 tickets, well, tickets for a family of 5, 2 adults, 3 children, with the Florida residence discount, his tickets for his family to get into the park was $975. That's just to get in the park. So you pay $30 to park. Now you got to buy the tickets. And this is with a Florida residence discount of 5% or 10%, not sure, allegedly. Okay, $975 was just to get in the park. So he spent $1,000 just to get into the park. So you say, wow. So it's easy for a family of 5 to spend $400 on expensive funnel cakes and expensive this, that, and the third. But let's go over it a little bit, seriously. Oh, and this was with no lightning lane, which costs $35 extra for each person. And that's if you don't want to wait online for certain, rides. You pay this $35 and you go straight to the front. You don't wait online. But he said, however, what they don't tell you is it only works on 3 rides. It's not every ride in the park. So if they got 40 rides, just say 30 rides, it only works on 3. So you're paying $35 per person for 5 people after paying $975. But he didn't do that. He was like, no, $975, we're going to wait on this line. Okay, get in this line, you sit here, watch your sister, I'll be right back. And that's how you know how that goes. So he didn't take the extra, the lightning lane. So he said first, when they got there, they brought 2 waters, 2 for 2 adults, 2 bottles of water, and 3 ice creams for the 3 kids. That came to $30. So you say, okay, $30. Things are expensive. You're getting 3 ice creams and 2 waters. To be honest with you, I've seen places right here in New Jersey that it could cost you more. You go to any of these little fairs in New Jersey, it could cost you more. Okay, but we did that. 2 waters, 3 ice creams, $30. Then a little later on, one of the kids or two of the kids wanted a pretzel. So they brought one pretzel and one beer. The father said at this point, he said he's spending his money. He going to get something out of it. Get me a beer. So there one pretzel that the two kids shared. One of them didn't want. So the two kids shared a pretzel and his one beer came to $20. Okay, so we into the almost $1,100, well, almost $1,100 mark. Well, yeah, we definitely over 1,000, right? Then they said, as you're in the park, the kids see little things they want. He wasn't buying he didn't buy them toys like that. He said he did buy them. They had these slushies, right? At one of the exhibits and stuff like that. So one slushie, only one or two, whatever. The slushie was $10.50 a piece. He had three kids. He didn't say how many he bought. Okay. Now, after the ice creams, after a while you're walking, you're getting a little hungry. He said he went and sat down at one of their restaurants, but when he looked at the menu, he said the price was just too crazy. He was like, nah, no way. They got up and they left. Well, they end up going to a pizzeria that's, in Disney. And they purchased 5 small personal pizzas, right? And 5 small drinks. That came to between $45 and $50. Okay, so you said that. And then, like I said, the slushies, listen, I can see very easily how you can spend $1,400 in Disney. And I think Disney has been making money hand over fist from all of us at some point for years. And I think that it's a little ridiculous. I know the kids want to go, but the truth of the matter is, who can really afford it? When it's something like you don't mind spending your money on stuff that you can see a return or you can actually see where your money went. Remember, you're going to an amusement park. Once you get on that ride and you get off, it's over with. It's done. You have memories. Every little thing you do in the park, it's just a daily thing. It's nothing you're gonna really, and mind you, he's not taking pictures, he's not paying, he brought his own camera, so he said he wasn't taking pictures. He said he did come across a couple of the characters that I think that sometimes they must not allow you to take pictures unless you're using like a photographer from Disney. I don't know what it is, whatever. But he did that. So he said that did happen. But again, I can clearly see how $1,400 can be spent easily, very, very easily. Okay, so I want to tell you about this young lady. I heard about the story, right? And I was like, you know what? I want to talk about it because I want to know what position, if any of us was in that position, what would we do, right? So let me show you who I'm talking about, and I'm going to tell you the story. Okay, so it says 19-year-old woman charged with murder after East Point Foot Locker shooting. So this happened in Detroit. East Point at a Foot Locker, outside of a Foot Locker. So this is I want you to see who we're talking about because this is the 19-year-old woman whose life may just be over as far as, what had happened. And I want you to help me. Tell me what you think. And what would you have done? Please leave me some comments and tell me what would you have done. Okay, so I want to tell you the story now. Well, again, this story takes place in Detroit. It says a 19-year-old suspect was arraigned with fatally shooting 2 and wounding 2 others in front of Foot Locker in East Point. Okay. LaCavia Taylor faces the judge and was emotional during the appearance, while her attorney argued the shooting was in self-defense. Now remember, Taylor, she was there with a brother named Dijon, right? He was arrested and charged with tampering with evidence. I don't quite know what that was. They didn't explain it too much, but I'm going to tell you what happened. Apparently, they were outside of a like mini mall, and this just happened to take place outside of a Foot Locker. Well, apparently, an argument ensued. She wasn't even involved in it, mind you. Her brother. It was just her brother by himself. I don't know where she was, but somehow. So the brother got into an argument with like 6 other guys, but at least 4 we know of, right? And they started to fight him and beat him. And one of the guys pulled out a gun. And so she saw the gun. So what she did was she knew that there was a gun in her brother's car. If it was his brother's gun or not, they aren't clear on who gun it was, but there was a gun in the car. She went into her brother's car, who drove her there, got the gun, and came across the parking lot, I assume, allegedly. She shot 4 people and killed 2 of them. They were jumping her brother. And one of them did have a gun. So her attorney is saying that it's self-defense, but you know how that can go. Because I'm not sure if she was actually being attacked at any point, but definitely the brother was, and she wanted to protect her brother. Like, who wouldn't want to protect their brother, especially if you see your family member, your brother, being attacked by 4 people, right? And then during that attack, one of the persons says, "I should such and such you," and pulls out a firearm. At that point, that changes the game. That's not just the beating. Okay. So she she knew it was a firearm in the car that they came in, and she went and got it, and she handled her business. And apparently she knew what she was doing. I don't think it was her first time actually using a gun, allegedly, to shoot 4 and kill 2. So we're gonna have to wait and see what really happens with that one. It's a little disturbing, of course. Um, and she looks scared. I mean, she really, really looks scared, and that's my bigger point because, sometimes you see these mugshots, and the people are, especially when they're young, when you're talking like anywhere between 16 and 19 or 20, they're so cocky and they scared to death on the inside. But they don't want to show that they're scared because of who may see it. But this is how she looked, and she looked scared to me. I'm only going to be honest. And I feel for her because she was in a position that I'm sure she wasn't prepared for. And how many of us would actually be prepared for something like this? So we have to wait and see what's going on and take it from there. I'm going to stay on top of that one because I'm interested to see now that the attorney is already saying self-defense. But first, we need to find out what were they fighting over. What was the argument about? Why was these 4 to 6 guys arguing with this one guy and then begin to beat him? Right. So let's figure that part out first. But nevertheless, she's now in jail waiting, and I promise you, I will stay on top of that one because I'm interested. She looks really scared. Well, how many of us know Tammy Roman? Now we know Tammy from Basketball Wives, actually from Real World first, right? And then Basketball Wives, and remember she was married to Kenny Anderson, and he played for the Nets and a couple of teams. Well, you also remember where they divorced, and I believe they had 2 daughters. One name was Lyric, and the other name, I don't remember the other name right now, but I'm sorry, Tammy. But guess what? Her daughter, Lyric Anderson, graduated from law school. Now, I was saying to my partner just the other day, we were watching Basketball Wives, right? And I was like, how weird is it? Because, the season that's on now has Jennifer and Jennifer's husband or boyfriend, whichever it is. You don't see Shawnee. You don't see Shawnee at all, but then you see Jackie, and then you see Evelyn. And Evelyn's from the Bronx. And these those 3 are the OGs, I'm gonna say. There's other girls. Oh yeah, there's one Brandy. So she's an OG too. But Evelyn and Jackie and Jennifer were from the gate on the show, right? And then that spurring off from, it was Florida, then it was California, then they tried to do a couple of other cities, whatever. Boom. So I was saying we still see Evelyn, Jennifer, and Jackie, Wacky Jackie, right? For Basketball Wives, I mean, these people have been on TV for what? 10 years more, even more than that, honestly. And it's weird that I gotta say, Tammy is winning. Tammy is on at least 4 different shows at one time, and Court in the Act is her show. Now they have a spinoff to Court in the Act, which is going to have host Tamar Braxton. So look, to me, allegedly, and it ain't allegedly, but Tammy is winning. Tammy left that show. I believe she was no longer friends with anyone, and I think she was really great friends with Shawnee O'Neal, who is now married to a pastor. I'm not sure what her last name is now, but Shawnee and Tammy were really good friends because she brought Tammy back on. That's when Tammy was going up against Evelyn and saying that Evelyn had slept with Kenny when they were married. You know, those type of things. And those that know basketball wives, we aware of it. All right. So anyway, her daughter graduated from law school. And like I said, I'm sorry to say, Tammy is winning. Okay. She got married. She married her young tenderoni or younger than her, and which I loved. And her biggest fear was that he's gonna want kids, and of course she can't have no more kids. So about Tammy Roman, stop playing. Um, but and nobody she was afraid to marry him because she kept thinking she was gonna kind of ruin his life and make him not have the experience that he wants to have or maybe needs to have. But they're together, everything seems fine. But like I said, Tammy is like on 4 different shows at one time. She is killing them and she's winning. And I'm happy for her. She was the underdog at one time. I think they were making fun of her being on welfare and food stamps and stuff. She is winning. Real talk. Okay, so you know that if you're Catholic and you're under the Catholic diocese, you have a new Pope, Leo, right? Well, you ever wondered how much money they pay you to be the Pope? I've never thought of it. I knew it wasn't free, but I know that they take care of you really for the rest of your life. So I didn't know exactly how that works, right? So I was interested. I was like, girl, I want to know because we know at one time the president's here wasn't making a lot of money, right? I remember that. And then I'm like, okay, pay it. So then they said they raised that up. Now the presidents make, I mean, the going rate for presidents and things like that are like $400,000. Plus they get an extra $150,000 to $2,000 for traveling expenses and this, that, and the third. But again, when you're holding office like that, what are you paying for? Because I know as far as presidents, they have to lock everything up in storage. They have access to no credit cards, nothing, no real money or anything like that because they're being taken care of by the country. Okay. Well, it says Pope Leo just took the top job in the Catholic Church, and the role comes with a $33,000 a month paycheck. Who knew? Wait a minute, stop playing. Who knew? Stop playing, stop playing, stop playing. Who knew that the Pope made 30? Because actually it's a little more than that. It's more like 33.8. Because I researched it because I couldn't believe like he wear that same robe that look like a dress. They all look like dresses. Okay, so they're giving you your garments. What's the problem? You the Pope. You got security. You have the Pope Mobile, which is like, the bulletproof car that you travel in and stuff like that. You have a private residence at the Vatican. What do you need money for? You don't spend any money while you're the president or the Pope or any of those things. But I'm just saying, you don't spend money. So you're getting this money and this money is just going, it's just stacking up, stacking up, stacking up. Well, I found out that the last Pope that was, Pope Francis that just passed away, right? Do you know he was making the same 33, 38, 33.8, 34,000 a month, but he decided not to take a salary. Now I'm thinking maybe that's the saintly thing you do. You are the Pope. My thing is, what do you need money for? You're not married. I don't know if they're allowed to have kids, and then I don't know anything about that. I'm being honest. I'm not Catholic, but I respect all religions and all faiths, and you don't spend any money. And these people, like Pope Francis, I think he was considered the 9th longest running Pope in history because he was in for 12 years. Wow. Okay. So he was there for 12 years. He didn't take a salary. He donated his salary for 12 years, which I had to tally up and everything after I was reading over, right? So for 12 years, Pope Francis donated his salary of $5 million to charity. He never took a penny because you don't need money. Money means nothing. And you keep this job until, okay, how you doing? No shade. So this is a lifetime job. This is a life-ending job. You're there until you're not. Okay. So what do you need money for? I don't know. Maybe you have, I know this Pope has a brother that lives in Florida, I believe, and he was talking already and this, that, and the third, and saying that this man dreamt of being a Pope since he was young, whatever, right? Okay. So there, he has a brother. And I'm sure he may have nieces and nephews. Maybe he has family members he want to leave something to. So maybe that's what the salary is, but that's a lot of money. So the other Pope didn't take a penny. He donated the whole salary, and for 12 years, he made $5 million. He donated it. And this one, he can also turn down the salary, but they said that most didn't. Most didn't turn it. And like I said, they probably want to have a legacy of something to leave because, again, you're not spending money, so that money is just building. You don't even know after a while. All you know is you're making $34,000 a month, and you've been doing this for 18 months. That's all you know. And it's growing interest, and it's growing, and it's growing. Okay, who knew the Pope was paid? You got that little cunty, queenie Pope mobile where he's embedded in glass and he's sitting on the throne with his little robe and his dress. No shade. I'm just being funny, guys. I'm no shade, no disrespect to anybody. But who knew that he needed money, and who knew that this is what they make, which comes to a little over $400,000 a year, like $408,000 a year. I wonder if they tax them. I wonder if they have taxes like that in Italy or where they at. I'm sorry, and do they tax them? I don't know. I don't know. That's something different. But nevertheless, I just thought you guys would be interested to know that the Pope makes 34,000 dollars a month. hmm He does. That's a lot of money. Um, and a year again. So for a year, like I said, he makes $408,000 a year. Hey, that he doesn't touch, that he doesn't see, and it just keeps building and building and building. Well, listen, that's what I got. And that's it. I love you guys. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking in there. As you see, it's getting better and it's getting better. It's getting easier. I want to see you guys more often, and I plan to. Again, I want you guys to be intentional, and I want you to love one another and have a great time and enjoy yourself. And until next time, be intentional.